Welcome back, my friends. It's Monday, and let's immediately jump to Putin's reaction to the peace plan that Trump proposed, or Trump's administration proposed to the Russo-Ukrainian war. Now, there's nothing to be surprised about, but I want to watch that reaction with you, and we'll go on from there. However, we see that after the negotiations in Alaska, there is a certain pause on the American side. And we know that this is due to Ukraine's de facto rejection of the peace settlement plan proposed by President Trump. I believe that this is why a new version of the plan has appeared, which is essentially a modernized 28-point plan. We have this text, and here is where it gets interesting. This is pure narrative pushing, Russian propaganda working. They have done this for years, and it's an oiled machine. We have received it through the available channels of the cooperation with the American administration. The funny part is that the plan, the 28-point peace proposal pushed on Ukraine, they will never accept it, but the first draft of it that they will now all be talking in Switzerland, in Genf about, the first draft is written in Russian, and Putin is claiming that they received it from the United States administration through some channels. Well, the truth is that they wrote it, and they leaked it online. They passed it to the US, who passed it as their own peace proposal. It's such a communication failure when the most powerful country of the world, their presidential administration, passes a Russian peace plan. Can you imagine? This is insane. The American peace plan contains phrases that were clearly written in Russian first. Because if you analyze an English language, there's a certain following of words to each other, certain meanings that are used, and there are meanings and words that can be used but are not used, but are used in some other languages, for example in Russian. The Guardian reports that the US peace plan includes several lines that were almost certainly drafted in Russian before being translated. In English language, they sound unnatural and out of place, as if the document was written and edited by people who think in Russian. Oh really? What a surprise. The clearest example is the third point. I quote, "Russia is expected not to invade neighboring countries, and NATO is expected not to expand further." The construction "it is expected" is unusual in English, but is a direct calque from Russian. Now you can use it is expected. You might hear this, hey, I use this. Yes, you can, but it is not most commonly used. If you want to give away the same meaning, you use something else. The document also contains other Russian-style word choices, such as ambiguities and to enshrine, which look just odd in this context. All of this has fueled suspicion that at least some of the contributions to the text were linked to Moscow. There's no question about it. This 28-point plan, if you look through these plans, these points reflect what Putin was demanding of Ukraine 4 years ago. Their demands has not changed. Why would the United States come out with a peace plan that exactly mirrors Putin's demands? Is that a coincidence? I think not. Now, the European Union has come out with their own counter-peace plan now, and it consists of 24 points. I'm not going to read you all of them, but the most important ones is that Ukraine can join NATO if they want to, but that is up for the alliance to vote on, because in NATO, every alliance member has to vote yes on the joining country. If one of them votes no, they cannot, so it's not that easy to join. Also, that Ukraine becomes a EU member state. Again, I gotta say that this is a very long process. Becoming an EU member state is not easy. Everybody wants, there's a waiting list. EU is a desirable club to be in. There's a lot of things Ukraine has to change, a lot of laws they have to pass to get in. So it's not that easy, but it's said in here. Also, that the front line will be frozen as it is right now, and territorial discussions will begin from this current control line, not that Ukraine has to cede some oblasts that Russia doesn't control. Now, this is a true peace plan. If you want to read it, the link is in the description below. Not written by the Russians as the Trump's administration 28-point plan is. My friends, when I was on one of my missions in Ukraine, a certain HUR officer, or that's the Directorate of Ukrainian Foreign Intelligence, told me that they and the Russian FSB are watching very closely what I do. This was a wake-up call for me. I must protect myself. And I chose the Surfshark VPN. Using a VPN is like wearing pants. All the important stuff stays private and secure when you step your foot outside. A VPN, or a virtual private network, covers your whole online activity. Once your device connects to the internet, all the information is encrypted or blurred out in a way. That way, your online activity is hidden from all the snoopers and trackers. And now, whenever my information is leaked online, I get a data breach alert, which notify me the moment my ID, email, passwords, or whatever is leaked online. If it happens, I'll know instantly. Since it is tedious to get all the security services from different providers, I just use Surfshark One, which gives me a VPN, alternative ID, and an antivirus. By the way, you also get incognito features in Surfshark One. A little perk I enjoy is their ads and malware extinction. No advertisements or cookie pop-ups. I hate those things. Surfshark also helps you out while traveling. Your favorite shows, sports, or subscriptions might not be available when you're abroad. With Surfshark's 3,200 plus fast servers in 100 countries, you can connect to your home region while traveling and keep watching what you usually do, just like you never left. And they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Take your time to try out the service and experience the whole Surfshark VPN potential. Go to surfshark.com/ArturRehi or use my code ArturRehi at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN for free. Thank you, Surfshark, for sponsoring today's video. I want to talk to you a little about Russian economy. We got information now, everybody's talking about it, that Russian central bank decided to start selling off their gold. Well, there's an interesting game going on in Russia between the central bank and the National Welfare Fund. So the National Welfare Fund, or Putin's war chest or biggie bank, is where Putin put all their gold or their oil and gas export revenues for the last 15 and 20 years. And National Welfare Fund exploded to this massive hundreds of billions of euros, dollars, gold, yuans, pounds. It was filled to the brink. Well, now only 51 billion USD worth of liquid assets are left in there, over half of which is gold, the other half is yuan, the Chinese currency. Now, when we hear that Russian central bank starts to sell off gold, you know what that means? They always sold gold to each other, meaning the National Welfare Fund sold gold to the central bank and vice versa. It's like moving gold from central bank to welfare fund. It stays in the Russian gold reserves because the owner is still Russia. It's the welfare fund or the central bank. What we're talking about now is Russian central bank actually physically selling gold, not to the welfare fund, but to the companies and citizens inside Russia, selling it away from Russian gold reserves to fill the budgetary deficit, which is pretty big now. This comes at a time where gold prices in the world are all-time high. Also, I gotta remind you that Russia is cut off from the international gold trading, so they cannot sell it to the EU or the United States or any other country who is taking part of the sanctions. They can sell it now, though, internally. And there is a big interest internally inside Russia for gold because ruble is going up and down and swinging, and Russian people and companies and investors, well, they don't have that much faith in the ruble. They cannot buy the USD or euro. They could buy yuan, but gold is more lucrative. They want to buy gold, and this is what the central bank now is selling. It all gets quite complicated, but the overall point to take away from here is, and it's very simplified, Russia has a big budget deficit, and the central bank, to fill that deficit, is now selling gold, not to the welfare fund and moving it from one to another location, still being in the gold reserve of Russia. They're selling it out of that gold reserve to the Russian companies and citizens, which lessens the Russian gold reserves. And it also is a symptom of a massive deficit of money in the Russian central bank's budget. In this video on the screen you can see how Putin was recently informed about the 2 trillion rubles fall of the revenues from the raw materials. This is a massive drop. I mean, here we have on the video, we have Federal Tax Service Daniil Egorov, who probably forgot that Putin does not like bad news, and he doesn't. He's known for that. People want to bring him the great news, so Daniil immediately says that the non-raw materials area has risen 3 trillion rubles, so the budget is suddenly stable, which is not. But just, yeah, I guess he doesn't want to fall out of the window, and he claims that. The point is, almost all plans that the Russian budget of 2025 was made upon, because, you know, they predict the budget, they predict how much they will rake in taxes and everything. Almost all of it has failed. The plan failed for almost all key taxes. VAT by 1.3 trillion rubles. Import duties and excess taxes, 328 billion rubles. That's the amounts the plan miscalculated or failed in. These are massive amounts of money they just planned falsely to take in, but they didn't take it in. Profit tax. They failed by 160 billion rubles, personal income tax by 36 billion rubles, recycling fees by 888 billion rubles. And now we're reaching at the end of the year, they know what they brought in and they know how much they falsely planned, and the contrast there is pretty bad. There is a massive budget deficit and hence the gold selling. But that's not all. It's not only about selling gold, it's also about not being able to make the payments, which brings us to the next topic, which is one of Russia's oblasts, Yakutia, is completely suspending payments to the soldiers of the Special Military Operation SVO. Or the war in Ukraine. Imagine you're going from Yakutia. I mean, it's super far east. It's like one of the most far east oblasts. Not the most, but like it's down there, or the east. You're from there. It's a very poor area. Only 1 million people live there, but it's a European size area where only 1 million people live. So it's vast, it's empty, not many jobs, no big wages. People go to the special military operation to get money, and then they're screwed over. They sign the contract, they go there, many of them die, their families are expecting money, or they're fighting there on the front day to day, checking their bank accounts if they got the money and they can send some of it home. They don't. Yakutia's finance minister, Ivan Alexeyev, reported that the payments to combat veterans in Ukraine have been suspended due to the lack of budgetary funds. He added that it is impossible to estimate in advance how many people will need payments. So he basically said, we don't know how many people in Yakutia need that money, but we cannot pay it anymore. And that's the first oblast in Russia to do that, because they simply don't have the money. So you have thousands, if not tens of thousands of people from Yakutia fighting the war for Putin in Ukraine, and you're just simply not gonna pay them because there's nothing to pay with. That's a bad situation. Very bad situation. Soldiers with weapons would expect to be paid. If they don't, well, they don't have the money, but they still have the weapons, and you know, they can do something with them. And now, my friends, a juicy topic, and I have plenty of links and videos. We're gonna watch them all. Drone strikes in Russia and occupied Ukraine in Crimea. We begin with Shatura thermal power plant in the Moscow vicinity. This is being one of the biggest power plants in the Moscow Oblast. It has the capacity of almost 1,600 megawatts. And let's watch all videos because there's plenty of them. Ukraine struck it 23rd of November, so yesterday. And we have this beautiful footage of the fire point FP2 Lute drone diving. Bada boom! Freedom exported into the substations right in front of the power plant. The authorities there claim every drone was shot down, but I see it was shot down with the substation, and the substation hit the drone, destroying it with itself. See, that's genius. Hey, I couldn't, it's too juicy, check it out. Meanwhile, at Shatura, stranger things happen. That's not a drone. Those aren't tracer bullets. That's not a drone. It's not making an attack dive. that not a drone is not about to hit anything important. The effing transformers exploded by themselves. This is what you read from the Russian official authorities, from their like city websites or whatever. Like, we shot it all down. The debris fell on the transformers or the substation. They exploded themselves in the fire spread, and suddenly the entire power plant is out of commission because of some debris. But yeah, let's watch videos also. Yeah, but other local Russians filming it for us and making sound effects so me and you can watch how freedom is exported into the savage lands of Russia. Because it's so bad words, I cannot translate, but every time they comment, it's only one by one these super filthy words, like just saying them. I couldn't say them in English, it would sound so horrible, but I'll always love the commentary. Nothing more needed, just filthy words one by one. We have some more photos, videos from the local population. Here you can see how big the power plant really is. I mean, 1,600 megawatts for a thermal power plant, it's pretty massive. And it looks pretty massive. Of course, it was not destroyed, it was only 2 drones that hit the substation areas. But the process is hindered, you know, it's a very bad look. I mean, it's a great look, honestly. Fires coming out of Russia, that's not a bad look. That's a wonderful look. And that's the next morning, of course. It's still smoking. Still smoking. And this is the transformers area. Now, they'll be fixing it in about a week or 2. But again, a lot of the electricians and guys, engineers who fix this stuff, they're on the front. So there is an issue with fixing stuff like that. It's a massive behemoth of a thermal power plant. Yowza. We have even more. Oh my god, I have so many videos about this. We have the Russian local youth. These young guys are also enjoying the weather and the views. Thermal power plant burning. They just came outside to have a cigarette. Nice little Russian morning as it is. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my god, it's such a top shop moment. But wait, there's more, because there is. In Shatura, it's like small town in the Moscow Oblast, in the vicinity of Moscow. That's where the power plant is, and there is a few hotels there, and this is filmed by one of the hotel guests out the window on the evening of the attack on the power plant, and they see this what is this? Zhu Soviet anti-aircraft cannon, dual cannon, I'm guessing. It's on the back of the truck. It's a generic Russian air defense crew here. You're in a hotel, right, in the Moscow vicinity, and this is what you see. They're just firing away. Hammering away. You can hear the drone. This is your... Hey, this wouldn't be a bad vacation, honestly. This is awesome. You can hear it. You can hear the drone. Now they're shooting at a completely other direction. By the way, it's always so weird seeing these Russian mobile air crews being inside the city on urbanized areas and firing away at every direction. I mean, these bullets come down at the same speed. They go up and they go down in a ballistic trajectory. What they hit like they would have a direct fire. They fly through walls, into the cars, into people sometimes. I mean, they shatter windows. These bullets come down in an urbanized area. So essentially they're shooting in at their own city, which is always very strange to me. Because in Ukraine, of course, there are similar crews, but they're usually outside the city, like 10 clicks outside. Many of them. There are some inside, of course, but usually out, and this doesn't happen. But I've seen it in Moscow, where in every area you have like 15 clicks of heavily urbanized area, and they're shooting like crazy in every direction with like 10 cannons. Like, you know, these bullets will hit whatever they hit. It's an urbanized area, it's an apartment building or a factory. It's so bizarre to me. No thought about that at all. Nobody cares, I guess. Okay, enough about that thermal power plant. We're all sick of it. Let's move on to occupied Crimea, because from there it's, let me try to pronounce this, Krasnoperekopsk. Yeah, that is a chemical plant and a substation right in front of it. So Ukrainians 14th Army, as you know, they are the ones who send the Brovary, the Phantoms, right? They always have the same kind of videos with awesome music hitting targets in Crimea like it's nothing. Let's watch it. See the substation? No problem. No substation, no problem. Like the Ukrainians say. Yeah, hit. Ooh, beautiful fireball. Hit once. Hit me once, shame on me. Hit me twice. No, it's the opposite. Hit me twice, shame on me, yeah. Well, they're hitting it for the second time here. And now, for the third time. Oh, that's the second one. Boom. Second boom. And do we get the third boom? I need it for my Monday. Show it to me, please. This is wonderful. I just want to share these moments with you. As soon as they come, we're gonna watch them together. So you've seen all of these Brovary drones hitting all of the targets in Crimea. I'll bring you another video. I mean, they were all released. 3 different videos. You haven't seen them. Another video from the Brovary primary. Brimary is, oh my god, I'm making the wrong word. Brimary, which in Ukrainian is supposed to mean phantoms. I don't speak Ukrainian, so forgive me, please. But this is them 1 day earlier, destroying radars in Crimea. By the way, notice the boat, which is just chilling here in the water, half submerged. So is this like a half submarine? I don't know. Brimary, that's the Phantoms. Yeah, I butchered that name. Aerodrom na RLK Lira A10. Barabim, freedom exported. RLS 55G6U. Neba U. Counter battery radar supposed to be. Shouldn't it? Neba SV. Crimea River. Yeah, Crimea River, man, I'm destroying all your drones. Look at that. Hey, I'm not gonna even pretend I know what kind of a radar that is. You don't know also, but it's big, it looks expensive, it's stationary, I think. It's not on a truck. So it needs to be destroyed. That much we both understand. Panzer S1, well, that's obvious. There's so many targets they're hitting. Weekly they release these videos, man. And that's a Ka-27, is it? What did they write? Ka-27, a helicopter right on the ground. Why is it on the ground? Let's destroy it. Boom. Gone. Freedom exported. Great videos. By the way, in Crimea, those 2 videos came from Crimea. Both times they attempted to shoot down the drones, and in both times the radar sites and the substation I mentioned before, they're near urbanized areas. You can see the lights, meaning this is like a coastal settlement here. And look how they're shooting down the drones. Massive fire going one way. I'm guessing this is 5 or 6 different guns opening fire in this. There's another crew here with the dual cannons, I see. Soviet anti-air cannons. You cannot see where the drone is. Obviously, this guy's randomly shooting in the air because there's no searchlights that are strong enough to witness the drone. And check this out. This is where they're shooting at, like, there's buildings, there's people, there's cities, there's streets. All of these bullets coming down into these streets. People will get hit. It happens. We have seen cars being just penetrated with bullets. You go shopping, you come out 15 minutes later, your car is shot up. And you're not in Campton or whatever, you know, gangster area it is. You're in Crimea. And check it out, they're shooting in that area. And the explosion happens here. They completely missed it. And you can hear in the radio, like, Suka is like, shit. We all missed it. We all shot at our own cars, at our own people in Crimea. And now this happened. It's just so stupid. I can't. Is it me? Do I understand something wrong that you should not shoot at an urbanized area, at the collective living space of people? It's the town where people live. You should not shoot at that location. Okay. It doesn't end yet, my friends. You thought it's gonna end now. Ukrainians, they used an FB1, Firepoint-1 drone to shoot down a Russian chopper in the air in the Rostov Oblast, Rostov region. This chopper is not on the ground like we saw in Crimea. This one is flying. And this is the drone, 200 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border. And they're doing this. That's insane. These drones are not designed to take down choppers. They're for ground targets. And they're obviously not sent up there. It's like, let's find a chopper. No, they have a specific set of targets. They're gonna go fly into Rostov area and go to these coordinates. But they saw that chopper on the way. So this is a change of plans. Like, okay, forget the target. We are seeing the chopper. We're taking it down. Obviously, they don't send these drones up knowing there's a chopper up above 200 clicks away somewhere in Rostov, no. And they, boom, goes into the radars of it. We don't have a video of it, unfortunately, but if such a drone goes right on top of the radars, I'm guessing it damages them and brings the chopper down. Maybe the pilots are skillful enough to emergency land it softly, who knows? We don't know what happened. All we know is that it connected to the rotors. That's all I can tell you. And people are arguing what kind of a chopper it is because of the tail span here. The Mi-8 does not have an additional winglet on its tail, unlike the latest modernized version of the Mi-28NM. Well, it doesn't really matter, honestly. The fact that 200 kilometers away in Rostov, a Ukrainian fixed-wing drone is able to connect to that chopper, which is just casually flying, transporting whatever they're transporting, war criminals probably. It's a bizarre situation. Talking about bizarre situations, my friends, let's travel to Kursk. Yes. Because when Russians drink, and they do almost always, they shouldn't drive, and nobody should, but they do, and they do even when they're driving a huge military truck, which even can have half a platoon in the back. Look what's the outcome. Ivan had too much to drink, makes drift, makes a little swerving roll, and lands on the wheels like a cat. On the wheels, no problem, he can continue, but there's no Ivan anymore. Ivan is mashed potatoes now. But this is crazy. I cannot confirm if there were troops in the back, but there might as well be. These trucks carry troops. That's insane. See, hey, don't drink and drive military vehicles, my friends. If you're Russian, then do that. That's good for all of us. But if you're not Russian, don't do that, please. Look at that carnage. No Ukrainians involved. I have to mention that. It's all done in Russia by the Russians to themselves. They're good at that. In the previous video, my friends, I talked about the Russian attack in Ternopil. It's in western Ukraine, a city in western Ukraine. Russians hit two buildings, a factory building and a residential building, which you can see on the screen. And it was bad. It was really bad. 4 days later, there were 4 days of non-stop rescue operations at two locations. 4 days later, the death toll of this Russian terror attack is 33 people. 94 people were injured, 18 of them being children. This gets my blood boiling, man. I can't. And 6 people unfortunately still remain missing. Ukrainian rescuers worked for 4 days at two locations, managing to save 46 people, including 7 children. More than 1,200 tons of rubble were removed, the majority of it by hand. This is a massive rescue operation. And now what's the outcome of it? Well, at the Ternopil graveyard we have scenes like this, where a father rocks a coffin, a child's coffin, like rocking a child to a sleep. And they're laying these children to rest, and there's many of these children. This will never be forgotten, and it will not go unpunished. There are millions of Ukrainians who witnessed this, and millions of Europeans, and across the world millions, tens and hundreds of millions of people who see this, and they will not forget it. We will not forget who did it. There is an officer who put in the coordinates. Ukrainians will hunt them down and just eliminate them. Now let's go to the front lines and I'll give you a very quick update on Pokrovsk. The Pokrovsk situation remains how it was about 2 weeks ago, meaning Ukrainians are holding on tooth and nail, Russians are pushing hard, but the front line doesn't really change, and specifically in Pokrovsk it's extremely fluid. But now the 7th Corps of the Ukrainian Air Assault Forces report that they have eliminated all of the Russians in the Pokrovsk central area that managed to infiltrate into the city with the fog about 1.5 weeks ago. You remember that? Well, they have been killed. That's how simple I can put it right now. The 7th Corps reports that. The defense forces are preventing the enemy from approaching and executing search and strike missions to eliminate Russian troops in Pokrovsk. And this Thursday I'll bring you one of the videos, one of the long battle videos of how the Ukrainian army clears out these infiltrators. They have mobile teams to search and destroy. That's what they do. And in this Thursday, which is not on my regular schedule, I'll bring you one of these videos. Also in Pokrovsk, we don't see that much. I mean, these FP2 5-point drones, they usually go and destroy substations, oil silos, but in this instance they actually strike several times an industrial tower in Pokrovsk, where it was reported that this tower is being controlled by Russians and they're using it for machine gun crews and drone pilots. Obviously that's an interest for the Ukrainians, so they're hammering it. 1, 2, we have 3 going to the same tower. Number 4, 5. They're sending 5 drones to the same tower, each of them making a massive explosion. So whatever is in there is not in there anymore. If it was the machine gun crews or the FPV pilots, they are sleeping with the fishes. And now, my friends, you're thinking about who are these infiltrators who get into Pokrovsk? Who are these guys who are sent first, the first line infantry who infiltrate and hide in the basements? Well, here it is. They won't even effing take this shit to the training ground anymore. Piss-soaked efforts, okay. Pick up your effing helmet, I'm telling you for the last time. Pick it up and stand there holding it. If you fall now, I cannot. I swear I'll piss on you. Why did you sign the contract? Me? Who else? Me? They tricked me. Tricked. I didn't want to. What you didn't want? Didn't want to sign. Then why did you sign? Do they beat you? Did they beat you? I was drunk. You were drunk. Huh? Hero. They took, I signed. You got yourself in deep shit. Why did you sign the contract? I was drunk. Why did you sign the contract? Why did you sign? I thought I'd finally quit drinking. Yeah, I thought you'd quit drinking. Did you quit? Then why the F are you acting like this? Like a piece of shit. Huh? What's the reason? We'll fix you up. We'll fix you. You'll quit drinking for sure. Why are you acting like a piece of shit now? When you signed the contract yourself? What, you thought this was kindergarten? Or rehab center? They'd babysit you. They already do everything for you. Dressed you, shot you, fed you 3 times a day, take you to the bathhouse. What the F else do you need? Why did you sign the contract? I was drunk. Why did you sign? Drunk too. Yeah? They're all efforts. Tomorrow you're going into battle. That's it. Tomorrow you're going into battles. I'm telling you, these guys, they're all drunk when they sign up, or they're forced, or beaten, or they're homeless. I mean, Putin is fixing his homeless problem, right? Sending these guys to the front. Look at them. They are drinking on the front also. You know who gives them alcohol? This commander is like, oh, why you drink? You do. The commanders are giving them alcohol because The troops can buy it from the commanders. Commanders are taking a hefty commission, you know, getting that alcohol to the front. They're getting rich doing that. I mean, these guys will be dying tomorrow anyway. They're going to the assault tomorrow. They're dead meat. But they have money, so commanders are like, yeah, if I sell them vodka, I get that money for myself, for me. So yeah, it's an extortion scheme. It's just a scheme that works in the Russian army. That's how it has always worked. 200 years ago and now. It's always been like that. So this commander here playing like he's morally higher, not drinking, well, he and people like him are the ones feeding vodka to these guys and taking the money. It's funny. It's all ironic and funny. There's no logic. Don't try to have any logic in it. There's no logic in it. My friends, that's it for today. I'll be back for you on Wednesday. Also on Thursday, by the way. Check it out on Thursday because we're gonna look at one of the Ukrainian teams that eliminates the Russian infiltrators on the front. It's awesome. And then, of course, on Friday. Until then, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Go to surfshark.com/Artur Rehi or use my code Artur Rehi at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN for free. Thank you, Surfshark, for sponsoring today's video.